this last weekend I made my way downstate. I was visiting friends and family. And while I was in Birmingham, Michigan, I checked out Griffin Brewing Company, guys. I have never seen Mosaic Eclipse. I want to break this one down with you. Mosaic Eclipse is a New England style IPA, clocking in at 6.67% ABV, very specific. This is brewed with Cryo Citra, Bravo Salvo in the Whirlpool with active dry hopping, and a Cryo Citra and heavy cold dry hop full of Cryo Azacca, Eclipse, and Mosaic hops. This is a wild beer. I had to break this one down with you guys. It's fun. I really like Griffin. It's one of my favorite breweries in all of Michigan. I enjoy it every time I go there. Great food, great atmosphere, great beer. They're huge. They distribute very far and wide. I dig everything they do, to be quite honest. They do actually distilling too, so they have spirits. I haven't got into those much, but here we go. Just a quick note, I really enjoyed the Norm's West Coast IPA this weekend. One of the best West Coast beers I've had. It was nearly 8%. It went down like butter. It was so smooth, so clean, so hoppy. I wanted more. I was driving, so I could only have one, but it was so worth it. There is no canned on date on this beer, but that's okay. It's straight from the brewery. It's got to be pretty decently fresh. Let's check this one out, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm changing up the formatting style of my videos. As my daughter gets older, she's going to be walking around, so I'm going to have her present around the room sometimes. I'm doing cuts and edits as I go, so that is the reasoning for the different formatting. If you see this video compared to my old ones, that's what the reason is. So it's kind of a dirty, murky orange hazy, to be honest. Sometimes I call these unhealthy, but it is on the grayer side. In the light, it looks great, but you know, it looks like that quote-unquote unhealthy hazy beer, if you know what I mean. A little bit just darker and muddier than you typically see in some of the brighter yellows. This is that muddy, orangey darkness that kind of lurks inside of that orangey haziness. Nice head retention sitting on top. Very creamy, very soft, very dense. It's good. Let's just go to the aroma next. So there's kind of a dankness to this beer. Like orange grassiness. Key lime? Like key lime, zesty citrus. There is like a peachy, apricot-y middle. And some sort of generic tropical fruits as well. So is this good all the way from the start to finish? Yes, I expected it to be a little bit more aromatic with the amount of dry hopping that's in here. Got a lot of different hops. I'm not really familiar with the Bravo Salvo. Not really familiar with the Eclipse, but I think there's some dankness from some of this Mosaic. There's a lot of like grassy, piney earthiness. Maybe the Azacca playing some roles. Peachy. Again, stone fruity, tropical. It's just got some good citrus front to back. It's got tropical and peach. Let's go for it. This is very earthy, slightly dank, slightly floral. There's this like zesty lime candied orange in this beer. It seems a little bit like watered down through the middle, yet it is very drinkable at 6.667 or 6.7, excuse me. It's less than 7% ABV, so it's slightly watered through the middle, but it's got nice hoppiness through the middle without being like too overly bitter. Again, this like lemon lime zestiness comes through very nicely. The peachy like apricot stone fruity thing I think kind of gets lost in this beer. I will say it's more generic fruits that I can't really name as well as I did maybe in the nose, but there's just like diesel-y, grassy pine that's very prominent on this beer. I feel like it's not the most intricate. Like for all that's in it, there's a lot of things that could get lost very easily in this beer. It almost tastes like white wine and grape for a moment. It feels very green, slightly chivy, slightly herbaceous. This diesel-y, grassy thing really resonates with me, and I don't know what it is, but it just kind of outshines some of the hop qualities of this beer. It's not that it's bad, it's just that it gets outnumbered and outmatched. It is smooth, it is slightly bitter, it's slightly dank. Again, that like diesel-y, like green kind of quality that comes out in a lot of New England styles. I get it. but it's just good. Like, it's not like it's overwhelmingly delicious at the end of the day, but it's a solid offering from Griffin Claw, which is not surprising. Sometimes when they use like the concentrated hop pellets in the cryo this, cryo that, sometimes I get like a little bit more acidity. I get a little bit more young feeling to the beer. It's more green. It could be mistaken for being like herbaceous, like I said, but maybe sometimes it's just that oily hop quality that comes through pretty fiercely, but it's got a soft maltiness as well. So it's not that it's too much, it's just that some things get outshined and maybe there's just a little too much going on in this beer at the end of the day, and it's hard to name all of the factors at play on your palate here. I will say it's a little bit overcomplicated, which leads to almost an underwhelming feeling through the front and middle. I do like the softness of this beer. I like the drinkability. It seems a touch watered down at times, but I just think a few things get lost with everything going on. It is solid nonetheless. So how do I rank it? I'm just going to go with a 3.9 out of 5. I feel like there could have been more potential here, but for me, guys, it's a little bit overcomplicated, maybe more than it needs to be for being a New England style, and there's so much going on here that I just get a lot of green hop oils, slightly herbaceous, slightly dank, slightly grassy, piney, and I feel like some of the qualities from the hop character themselves don't reach my palate as well as maybe it could have with all this Whirlpool this and dry hopping that. At the end of the day, it's still a great beer. I'm just splitting hairs. So 3.9 out of 5. It's been the Mosaic Eclipse. Thanks for being here, guys. Till next time, prost, cheers, yamast, whatever you want to say. Cheers.